Right, I'm back again. Let me just check. Microphone on. Yes, that on, and it's not going to turn off this time. It turned off about 10 times last time I was trying to record. I'm recording the screen as a pilot. So I've got that on, yes, and I'm recording in at 4K. Right. Yes, right, we can start. And I'll do this so I can sync it all, the sound and all that malarkey. Right, so I'm in a place called Blyth. I'm up on a massive hill so I can see in every direction, apart from there, but I'd have to be way down, and I'm not going to go much further than, 200, 400 meters. I just want to see the lay of the land, see if there's anything interesting, and I think along there, that's my east, well, north's that way, and east's over there. So I think there is a train track, or the remnants of a train track. It's certainly not used now. It used to be for the coal and all sorts of stuff. And there used to be a colliery over there, because I can remember as a very, very small child, 7 or 8, firing my friend's air gun at the door of it. That was when it was closed and before those things were normal. That was under the age of criminal responsibility. I will point that out. Anyway, so you don't have fun like that anymore now. It's a bit more sensible. So let's get the drone up. So I'm going to show you the pilot's view, the drone view, and you filming me, filming you, and all that rubbish, right? So let's have a look at the screen. So screen-wise, you can see top left on the pilot's view there, N mode, which is normal mode. Permitted takeoff, it's got 26 satellites, which is more than enough. And then you have 94% battery, there's a timer there, and RC is full. So let's engage the rotors, and I will move that. Hang on, there's a bit of grass there, so that's completely my fault. Try that again, check complete. There, completely my fault. It was just a blade of grass, so I thought, hang on, there's a bit of resistance there, I will stop. So it's done the right thing. So let's get that up and we'll go up as high as possible. Right, let's see what we've got here. Gimbal down, and it knows our home point. Right, so we'll take it up to about 100 feet because I want to get a nice view here. Now there seems to be, is that water down there? Let me go over here a second. Is that water? I think that must be where the train track used to be. See, you've got a path to the left, and then you've got this. So we'll gimbal down. So all of this used to be the train track, so I'm quite close to it actually. So the path on the right, and then slightly to the left is the train track, and you can see, I'll zoom in there, I'll just get this fly off me. So in the middle of the screen there, that is where the train track would have been. And then we'll gimbal up and follow its path. And there seems to be a path over it. I remember as a kid, kids used to just jump over it. And then is that the remnants of the path there? And then eventually at the top, it comes to what we call here a level crossing, which is basically where a train can cross where traffic need to stop. So it'll be a traffic stop. So we'll power over there and keep it in a sensible range. Obviously, I'll keep it in visual range. Let's see what we can get here. So I'm pretty sure they've closed that off. So I'll stay on the green in the map there. I don't necessarily want to be over people's houses. Stay to the left, that's better. And then we'll travel up. So it looks like maybe it's a path now then. Okay, that's interesting. So that would have taken coal up and down the coast. Yeah, is that a puddle there in the middle? There's something white. What is that? Or is that someone with a big white dog? What is that? Let's see if I can see. Could that be a big puddle? I can certainly zoom in. I don't know what on earth that is. Questions, answers below. What is that in the middle there? I think it's a puddle. We'll zoom out so you can get a nice 4K view there. So like I say, this is Blyth. Excuse me for coughing there. And then to the right is, I don't know the name of that school because it's changed. I mean, years ago I used to go to a one there called the Threepenny Bit School because it was in the shape of a threepenny bit. Ask your grandfather what a threepenny bit was, because I don't even know. I grew up with decimalisation, thankfully. Instead of 9 and 16 thousandths and all that rubbish. So we'll go this, and this is the main estate that's attached. So the prominence that I'm on, I'll turn around and show you. So we are, if you look at the pilot's view, see the H on the right hand side of the screen. It's slowly ascending. There, boom. So that H is where I am. So we'll come a little bit closer. So this prominence is actually the remains of spoils. So it is a pit heap. And that means there would have been a coal mine here at some point. So this is the spoils, allegedly. And then to the right, on that green section there, was where the colliery was. I can remember them dismantling it and blowing it up. And like I say, when I was like 7 or 8, not even that, really young, my mate used to say, right, get the air gun out and see if you can hit the door from the top of the hill. It was hilarious. So obviously people don't do silly things like that now, and I don't suggest anyone does do that. Let's go over there. I can hear a helicopter. Let me just get a visual eyes on. Oh guys, miles away to the west there. Okay, but I will bear that in mind. And I'm at a sensible range, sensible height here. So you can see on the middle of the screen there at the bottom, 108 metres, so we're well up there. So that's where the colliery is. I doubt you'll even see much. I'll zoom over there. Let's see if we can actually see anything of relevance. Probably not. You know, even those houses on the right, I remember when they were building those years ago. That shows you how old TrailTrek is. I think the colliery was here. And then because they were mining so much, I remember that there was some sort of water source around here, and we used to call it the yellow burn or the yellow baby. And obviously that'll be when you're digging so far down you're getting iron in the water that's coming out. One of the things from mining is the chemical off spill that comes with that. You've got to dump that somewhere. So they'll pump the water out, and with it comes all that yellow stuff. And then I think there's a bridge over here. Let me have a look. So quite a big substantial pit heap this. I'm not suggesting every single section of that is these spoils, but certainly a lot of it. So if we go down here and have a look at this bridge, so it's not too far away, we're only 90 metres away. Let's zoom over there, and I'll do a little cheeky shot of it because we're nice and high, and I'll do a rotation shot. So if we come down a little, just to make it a little bit more interesting, so you can get a little bit, because I find that if you get a little bit of the background in as well, so we'll come down to, let's say 65-ish, 65, I think that's perfectly sensible. So there it is there, and then I want to, on the pilot's view on the left of the screen, I'm going to hit the active track button. There you go. So it automatically defaults to focus track. So what I will do now is I will draw something around. Now, see I'm drawing this green box. I'm going to draw it with preference to the bottom. The reason is we are at an angle, so I want it to try and grab underneath that. So if I rotate slightly to the left, it will force it to take a GPS fix. Just a little tip there. So it's going, it's working it out, there. So because I use preference to the bottom there, it has put the GPS, you can see the GPS marker in the centre there, just under that bridge, which is perfect, that's exactly where I want it. So if I go to bottom there, bottom section, you've got spotlight, active track and point of interest. Let's go to point of interest and click on it multiple times until it does what it's supposed to be doing. And then we will rotate. Let's rotate to the right, and we'll do fast. So so the further you pull that toggle, the faster it rotates. So we are on fast there. So it will be quite substantially fast. We're only about 200 meters away, perfectly safe. I've got it in line of sight. It's just over there. It's just to my north, well, northeast-ish. And a beautiful day. Listen, can you hear all those birds? In fact, I can hear a train in the distance. If I wasn't rotating around, I would change the gimbal and show you that. But I'm getting this bridge in 4K. And at the top of the pilot's view, there's the H. That's where I am. That is an augmented reality positioning to say that is your home point unless you change it. Because you can change it. I could say, right, I want to now change it to where it is now. You'd only really do that if you were in a moving vehicle, or you'd move positions between the start and the stop there. So still going. That looks great. I probably want to come down a little bit. So I'll lower the height a bit. So we're at 60 meters, so we're coming down. And by doing that, the gimbal will change and you'll get more of the background in. So I'm coming down 55, 53. See how it's getting more in? It's more of an epic shot because you're certainly, there's more going on. Well, that's my view anyway. So we'll go down to 45. I think that's perfectly adequate. There, you see how I'm now getting in the very, very far background. I'm getting those houses on the other side of the hill. I think that looks more cinematic. You can get other tricks like that where you can get further away, zoom in on something close, but this only has digital zoom. So if I zoom in now, it's digital only. So you lose quality, even though I'm doing this in 4K 60. If you've got a good monitor and a good TV, you're going to see that. Right, so we'll cancel that. So I'll hit this stop button. Excuse me, sorry if I keep coughing. And I'll show you where that train track was. So the train track, if I get rid of this track, can I hear another one coming? Because they are just over. So I'm over here. It's over there. So this is quite a big hill. I'll zoom over my head. So here's me. So coast is to the left, which would be east, and we are heading south at the moment, or southish almost. In fact, if you ever got lost, you know, on the bottom you've got the map there. You can click it and expand it so you can see, look, That's where I've been. Now, can you see the blue line? That is where I have been. So that, you can see exactly, I took off from there, I went to the right, then I went there, and then you see the circle? That's not a roundabout, as we call them here. That's the path that the drone took, and then it came back. So I can zoom all the way out. You can also, you've got the icons on the side, you've got your info, you've got a little marker eraser there, you've got your home point, north up, or you can rotate it, and then on the bottom right there of those you can hit it and go to, which I tend to use, mixed. So you can do that. I mean, it's not so good in poor light, I would argue, but if you've got a signal, which I don't know why I haven't got my signal on, so let me turn my phone on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the controller just to make sure I get that in real time. So if I turn on my hotspot, so that's on now. So theoretically, my remote should pick that up. Should. Let's see if it does. Right, so that's on. And then if I go to Wi-Fi, let's see what it's doing. Not a lot, not a lot. It's not doing a lot, is it? Wi-Fi's on, but it isn't doing anything. Why is that? So how do I go to Wi-Fi options? Right. We're in options, right, networks and internet. So not connected, well, it's on, so if I connect on it, it'll say, okay, which one would you like? There's mine, S25. Now, this is a brilliant password. You'll never guess this one. No one would ever guess this password. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No one will ever guess that. Connect. There you go. It's connected to my phone, so it now has Wi-Fi. So if we come out of that, and then put that on, back, and then we're back to where we want to be. It will reload, yes, back again, there. So there, can you see how the tile at the bottom has loaded, but not the top? So I have to give it time. So that's loaded, but not the rest. So now it's loading in, and you can see there's me, the blue with the green, that's where I'm pointing. So if I turn around, that will rotate slightly, well, a little bit. Sorry, at the very, very bottom you can see, and then right at the top, you have the drone. So let's quickly come out of that. So again, you can just use pure satellite or standard, and then you can go back to your normal view, bang. So just a little tip there for you if you didn't realize that. Right. So the train track should be over here. Now I'm going to gain height because I think there is no necessarily legal limit to be near an active train track. However, I think they suggest, and I'm saying it's a suggestion, you always must need to check the rules yourself, they suggest 50 metres. So look, I'm 110 up and I'm away from it. And there's the golf course. So that's a big golf course at the north of Blyth, which then stretches along. So let's see if there are any trains. They're probably not, because one went from the right there up to the left and then travelled south. I'm not seeing any. I just want to see if there's any little cars I can track. So there's one. So you see that car there? Ah, he's parking. So we'll go to the main road there, and let's see if we can track a car. So can you see how it is giving me the option? Let's come away from the road there. There, we're off to the side now. So it's giving me the option to track these cars. So if I wanted to track that red one, in fact, no, where did that white one go? He's disappeared. I can hear him. You can hear the traffic from here because this hill gives you an excellent view. It's brilliant. Let's drop the height a little. Okay, who is coming down this road? Nobody, as usual. Here comes a car now. Right, so I'm going to go to, so we are in active track mode, so it is giving me those, excuse me, it's giving me those pointers. It's saying, look, do you want to track this? I'm giving you a opportunity to do that. So we'll come down a little. It's perfectly okay. Here he comes. So I'm saying, right, I want to track that. Yes, please. Right, active track, go. And I'll put it in sport mode. Right, so he should, now technically he should go no faster than 30 miles an hour, even on the straights. So all I'm looking at is bottom left, I'm just looking at range. Now I've got a perfect line of sight of where that is, but obviously it's going to get to a point where I'm going to say, right, that needs to come back now, so, which is fine. Now he's parked, hasn't he? Or has he? Ah, no, did it lose that? Now I was looking away, so what happened there? I'm presuming it's that car on the top right, so that's the problem with being a drone pilot. I've got to keep looking up at the sky and making sure I can see where the drone is, so it kind of like betrays your ability to look at everything at once. We haven't got fly eyes, so I'll tell you what, I'll bring that back. So we'll turn off active track, and then on the left I'm going to click on the home. So you've got return to home, update home point, or land. Well, I certainly don't want to land, so return home, and you'll hear the beep, 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 beep. So I'm just over there, look, on the hill. And you can see the coast in the far distance there. So I'm going to get it to land and I will change the battery. In fact, I might do a hand landing, we'll see, just so I can get that on camera for you. And listen to those birds. Beautiful. Stunning up here. So we've got a 5 mile an hour wind up to 11 mile an hour. And on the forecast I use, it'll go up to 12, 13, 14, depending on like 100 meters-ish up. Okay, so here it comes back. So I can see it coming. It's very high up there. It's coming down, it's coming down. It's only 40 now. Down, down, down. You can probably hear it on the mic there. There it is, just above me. Perfect. And then we'll come down. Here it comes. And then I'll see if I can let it do its thing. So it will rotate the gimbal. Boosh, it's looking down. You see the automatic ER representation of a, well, I mean, really it's a fake shadow. It's coming down, it's coming down, it's gimbaled up, so it's going to protect the gimbal. I'm just going to let it do its own thing. There, didn't even need to touch that. Right, so let's get that battery changed. And then we'll pop up again. So very quick, in fact I'll do it on camera. So there we are on camera. If I can see myself. Swipe to unlock, I love that, yes, just so I can see what's going on. So here we go. So take the cell out, stick it between your legs because I've got nowhere better to put it. Stick that in, click and hold, and then that should, there you go, that's back on. Right, I'll do a hand takeoff on that one, just so you get a nice view. Pop that back in there, back in the charging hub. And then I want to, if I can see the screen here, yes, I want to record. And we are already screen recording, so we'll do a hand takeoff. So to do them, you'd probably think, well, how do you do a hand takeoff and do everything? Well, what you do is, you stick it in your hand, like that. Then you actuate the propellers, keep it well away from you, obviously. And then what you want to do is, you want to put the stick up, and off it goes, there you go, dead simple. So let's have a look at what we can see here. There you go. Boom, right, let's go and have a nice fly around here. So over there is where we were tracking the car, so we'll get a nice bit of height here. Let's go way up. There. Gimbal down, gimbal down. Those birds are beautiful today, the sounds of them. There, we're at 50-ish meters. Right, let's see if we can follow a car. So we will go, in fact we'll go this way and I'll follow one out of the estate and then back along the track. Hopefully. So here comes, I don't know what that is. You see it in the middle of the screen there? A truck or something. So I'm turning on active track. Now bear in mind, he's gone into a street. He's gone into a street and I know that is a dead end. So we'll wait for the next vehicle. There are some people there, but I don't really want to annoy people and track them. But you can do that. I've shown you that. You go to my previous videos. I've done it multiple times on myself. You can see it follows me even if I run out the way and things like that. Here comes a big, whatever that is, a big van or something. Right, we'll follow that. So it should, so active track is on. There, right, I want it to follow that, active track. Right, follow that. Let's see if it can do it. So we're at 50 meters and it is following it. It's rotating its view to the left. It's following the truck. We're 170 meters away. Now see, it's lost that because it's too far away from it. So let's get a bit closer. That's fascinating. It's maintaining its range. Now, again, you know, you've got to realise once it goes behind a building or trees, again, it will suffer. So it changed to a GPS lock there. It's still doing it. Still doing it. I want to try and get it a bit closer. It's doing it. Still doing it. The van is stopping for a chicane there, or traffic calming measures, or whatever they call them these days. Still doing it. So maybe I was far too far away when I got the initial lock. I was very rapid when I picked it there. And you can see on the bottom left we've got the trace wheel. I'm not really that interested. It's going to try and get behind if it can. Now see, it's lost lock and it's went to that other vehicle, so that's not the one I'm after. So you need to be quite close in order to get an accurate one. So what we'll do is we'll come over here, gimbal down, so we're much closer this time, and we'll try again. Right, I don't want ones going that way necessarily because I want them coming back towards us. I don't want to go off into the distance where I can't see. Right, so we need a car on the left-hand side of the road because we're in Europe here. So, well, I'd say that we're in England, so Europe have their own. Right, so go, active track, yes please. Right, go. See, now it failed to hit active track, so it's now so far away, I don't know whether that will get it. Will it? Now the car has stopped, so okay, it may do. Let's see how long it keeps this track. Now those trees don't have a lot of leaves, which is a really good thing, because that means it can see through a little bit. So no, it hasn't lost them there. So I'm in a really good position, and on the track wheel, bottom left, you can see I'm asking it to be behind, not to the right or the left or the front. Now with a vehicle, it doesn't give me the option. When you're tracking a person, it'll give you the option and say, do you want to be close, do you want to be far away? It doesn't give me that option. You've got to manually do that and then set it, then off you go. So we're at 250 metres away. Perfect. It's just over there. Yeah, it's just over there. Because that road comes around the side of this hill. Still got it. That's perfect. I mean, these are ideal conditions. The sun is out. There's not a lot of other traffic. And there's not a lot of tree cover. Now, there's a tree on the left there that looks like possibly a cherry tree. What's going to happen here? No, it kept it. It kept it. But it wasn't full cover. So, okay, fair enough. It's still going. We're at 300 metres from my position. That's fine. It's over there. There it is. I've got to make sure I can keep an eye on this. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then it comes round 390. Now he's stopped. Now he looks like he's parking, is he? He's parking. So to protect his privacy, I'll move away. You know, I don't care what people are doing or where they're parking or who they're visiting. It's none of my business. But just as a method of tracking there, that's pretty cool. Now there's a dog running past me, so if I start talking to the owner, that's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to myself. I haven't gone mad. So just so you know that. Hello, hello. In fact, do you want to come on camera? Yeah. I'll swap the cameras. Hello, hello. Yeah. 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 How you doing? You're on camera. Yeah. Yeah. Look, see that camera there? Good boy, good boy. How you doing? Now that's a little remote. Nice to meet you. He's off. He's off. He's off. Right, okay, so back to what I was doing. So we have 80% battery and we don't really need to track anyone else. I mean, I can track myself. So what I'll do is I will come back to my position. So the easiest way to do that is to find the H. So there's me on top of the hill. In fact, we'll come back via the other side of the hill. So we're back in normal mode. Just bear in mind that when you're in sport mode, which I used to follow that vehicle, you lose obstacle avoidance. So just bear that in mind. Always try and fly with that on. that would be my preference anyway. Right, so here we come, and then I am to the right there, behind those trees. Boom, there. So in we come. Now what's that white thing there? See, I'm looking on a very small screen. You've got the benefit of 4K. I haven't. I think that's a seat. Is that a seat? Yes, a seat. Yes, I thought there was someone on it, but no. He ran that way. Is he? Oh, he came to say hello, and I gave him a clap, and he went off that way. No, that's different. Oh, it's a different one. Sorry. No, you're right. It was that one. Yeah. So, hello, Alfie. Hello. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm talking to the people with the dogs there, because I'm a dog person. I like dogs. They're always man's best friend. I'm a firm believer in that. I'll always look out for you. I always like the saying where people say, if you want to know how to be a nice person, always try and be the person that your dog thinks you are. So if you think about that for a moment, in other words, always do the right thing and always be kind. I know that's very, very difficult to do at times, but you know. Right, so there's me there, and let's see where Alfie is. There's Alfie down there. Oh, that's the owner of Alfie anyway. Let's have a look. Where's Alfie? There's Alfie to the left. There. He's playing with another dog there. So if I wanted to, I could track that guy there. I mean, I've just spoken to him. He knows I'm here. So, excuse me. Right. So that will track him now. So he's stopped now, and he's probably going to move forward onto that path once his dog's finished playing with that other one. Wee, look at him. He's going bananas, that dog. So you can see when I've asked it to active track, it's spotlight at the moment. It's saying, well, hang on, look, I know that as a human. You see how it's got the little running human figure underneath? I think they're probably going to have a chat. Dog owners tend to. Yeah, okay. No point in tracking that. That's going nowhere. So we're at 50 metres. I'll gain a little bit of height. We are zoomed right in there, which is handy for me. But, you know, I don't want to go too close to these people with dogs, because again, I would hate to set someone's dog off running and then it goes running across the road or something. Although it's perfectly safe here, You can't actually get to these houses. All of these are blocked off. But let's have a look at this street here. Let's see what we can spot in this street, because I recognise this from childhood. In fact, is that there? See, I'll show you a window where I saw a ghost, and I'm a very, very, very scientific, logical person. So I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, but I saw a ghost at that window there. So I was coming up the. I'll tell you the story actually. We've got time. I was with my father coming up the street from the bottom there, and I saw instantly I thought it was a male figure stood at that window, and at the time I thought that'll be my sister's boyfriend. Got in the house, opened the door, house was empty, no one in, no lights on, strange, went and searched the whole house, not a single person there, and I would swear 100% that there was a human there. So isn't that strange? No other ghost stories for that house, but isn't that bizarre? But then you've got to remember the human mind certainly is fallible. You can go into any shop right now, a bookshop, and buy a book full of optical illusions, and you will swear that you're seeing something that isn't there. So, you know, you've got to be scientific about this, but I saw genuine, what I would describe as a classic ghost encounter. Amazing. So at the time I thought, well, hang on, we're being burgled here because there's no lights on and no one's in the house. This is a bit strange. So there's the old back garden there. Is the apple tree gone? It may do. Anyway, I'm going to come away from there because I'll gimbal up. I don't want to spoil people's privacy. That's not what I'm here for. Right, so let's come back to the. In fact, there's some guys down there I can see. What are they doing? Oh my goodness! It's like a walking club. There's loads of them. So if I come up nice and high, so we'll come up to about 50-ish. I think that's reasonable. That would be a nightmare to track. You see, those people. It would be an absolute nightmare because they're going in and out of each other, covering each other up. The dogs are running around. I think that would be very, very difficult to do as a tracking proposal there. So, boom, come out there. So you can see how far away we are from them. Very far. So I think I've covered everything. In regards to that train track, there's the train track there. Let's have a quick close look at it. I just want to get right above it and look down onto it and see what's the crack here, as they say. What is the crack? Let's have a look. Right, got plenty battery, 50 meters. Right, so have they put the path over it, or is that it there on the left? I'm trying desperately to remember. That looks so straight, or near enough straight, that path. I think that's the track. And they would have the trees at either side. Yeah, I think that's it. And so that would, I mean, you could hear them most nights rumbling along, because I used to sometimes spend nights on this heap here, on this hill, and you could hear them through the night, just rumbling backwards and forwards, delivering coal and things like that. And then it goes up, and then it goes to that bridge, doesn't it, that we looked at before. So we'll get a nice close look at the bridge, and then we will come back. You can hear people in the background possibly shouting for the dogs. So it's Alfie again. I don't believe it. Come on, Alfie. If Alfie comes over here, I'll send him back. Alfie's getting shouted at by the looks of it. Now, is that water down there as well? I want to get a look at this. So we'll go right above it. It could just be that it's in real shadow. Now, bear in mind, again, I'm recording in 4K, but I'm not seeing that. This is a 1080 stream at 60 frames per second. I think, no, I don't think it is water, is it? It's just very dark down there. Yeah, that's the depression where the train track would have been. Actually, do you know what? I think I'm completely wrong. That looks like water to me. Right, let's gimbal down. There's a person crossing there. We're only a couple of 100 meters away. Yeah, that looks like water. Amazing. And that must be where that yellow effluent stuff probably would have been at some point. Right, I've still got tracking on, so I'm sure this guy wouldn't mind. Let's see if we can pick them up. I want to see if I can track someone as they negotiate the bridge. I'm guessing not. Right, now see this guy, this is a person with a dog by the looks of it. Now we're at a decent height and I'm not above them, so I think it's perfectly safe. I've got line of sight of what's going on here. See, now from this very high vantage point, it's not picking that out as a human. You can see from the, you know, look at that. You can tell it's a human. Obviously I can't. He's slightly overexposed there, but I'm not worried about that for what I'm doing here. I'm not doing like stock footage or anything. So let's come along here. I think at that angle it just cannot recognise. Hang on, there's a spider crawling up my leg there. Just get rid of that. And there's no one else there, is there? No. Let's see if Well, Alfie's owner's over there. So if we go back this way, and then down, 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 zoom, 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 there we are, and come back. So there's me. And you might hear it go overhead actually. And then I think this has been long enough. I've just messed around really. A lot of messing about, let's put it like that. I won't land straight away because there's a lady with a dog, which I'll show you. She's on the right hand side of the screen, or you will see. So there's me. So I'm going to gain a lot of height, get out of her way. So you see how it was tracking me, which I don't mind there. So that's them there. So someone walking the dog, which is fine. So I've got plenty cell on that. So what I could do is I could possibly track myself. It looks like a West Highland Terrier. In fact, let's have a look. I'll gain a lot of height just to keep out of the periphery. There you go. So there, I'm way up now. Hello there, hello there. Hello, hey, what's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, sorry. I'll get a shorter one. Oh, poor thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will track myself. So I'm at a substantial height there, so I'm at 65 meters. So I'm going to come way down. Now I'm going to keep a reasonable height because, as that lady described there, a dog's nervous, so I don't want to do anything whatsoever to annoy her or the dog. So I can see the drone there perfectly. So we'll come down a little bit tentatively. She's well out the way there. I'll show you where she is. Zoom out. There, she's well over there now. So I think it's perfectly safe to come down here. In fact, I'll come to the right, well out of the way. Always respect other people, and then they won't kick off and say ban drones and things like that. So, do you see how it's almost picking me up there? So we'll come down. Sound like a shepherd. Come by. Right. Excuse me for coughing there. So there's me. Let's change the gimbal. Now that is a bit of a range. So I'll click on it. It knows that's a human, and I want active track, and I want it to be. Well, let's move a little bit closer actually. There. So we'll put it more above and down. So I'm using the sticks here, and it's doing the rest. It's doing the gimbal for me. So let's walk around and see what it can do. So it's still getting me. So I'm going to bring it up because there's people walking their dogs. So I'm going to move position slightly, and it's still following me. I want to be at a reasonable height there. Right, so that's probably about its maximum really for the job that it's doing. And on the track wheel, you can see that I've got it. It's going to try and be behind me. Now, if you look on the pilot's view, you can actually move that. So I'm going to put it behind me, but I want it at a far distance. So now, of course, that makes it more difficult for the electronics. So I'm going to take it well up. In fact, I'm going to cancel this because the amount of people who are going past. There, I'm going to take that way up. Give it about 100. Get it well out of the way there. So up, and I'll turn the tracking off there. There, so that's off now, and I'll probably land this soon because I don't want to annoy people. So we're up to about 100 there. Hello there, hello. And what I'll do is, yeah, so I mean you can see from the top right there, we're at 28%, so it's not bad. But I can feel the wind getting up anyway. When I first got here, it was something like, it was probably its 5-6 mile an hour range. It's definitely, I would say, at least 10, 11, and then as the height increases, it's going to completely change to that. So what I'll do is I'll bring that back. I'm not going to do an automatic, but what I'll do is, I mean, you can see on the view there that is home. So I'm just going to bring the height down, bring it down manually, bring it down. It's offering to track again, so I'm going to turn active track off. It saves a bit of CPU power. There's me, and we'll come down, and I'll bring it forward. And I'll do a hand catch. I'll get that on camera, yeah, because it's still going. Right, so. Right, okay, so job's a good one. Let me get the sunglasses back on. I'll turn those off and tell you about that flight. So let's get those turned off. So I no longer need to run that. And I can turn off the screen recording, stop, and turn that off. Right. Okay, so that was quite good fun. Let me just check this is recording, because sometimes it decides, no, I don't want to record, you know, it does its own thing. And is that still running? Yes, it is, thank goodness, right. So that was quite a long one, that one. Just a bit of mucking about, a little bit of a track, but you saw the issues that you can get. So the first issue is, have you got sport mode on? Can it keep up? Are there obstructions between you, or regular obstructions enough where it's going to go, I'm not sure where he's gone. It's not always intelligent enough. You know, AI is great, but it's not perfect. So you never really know. So you've got to bear these things in mind, and you need to make sure that you're not fighting the wind and things like that, and your initial starting position, it's going to try and maintain that. So if you're dead far away and it's not doing a very good job, get yourself closer. I mean, you've got active track and spotlight and all that, but anyway, but I think I've done enough for today. Brilliant spot if you did want to come here. Just please, if there's people walking the dogs, get well out the way, and then you don't get people, you know, in the newspaper saying drone scum, how dare they, antisocial, what are they doing, noise and annoyance. Don't annoy people. That's my personal option anyway. So thanks for joining me. If you've got any questions, stick them down below. I might do a few more of these just for a laugh. I like finding great vantage points like this where you can see all around. It's much safer. There's no power lines I need to avoid or anything like that, and it's good fun. Anyway, so I mean, the sun's still out for once, so I'm going to go and get an ice lolly and have a bit of fun. So goodbye.